You're welcome back to our healing journey where we're going to be talking about healing because one thing I personally feel is that the world needs healing. The world is broken. A lot of people are going through a lot of problems, a lot of heartbreak, trauma, brokenness, pain, stress, name it. And so the world needs healing. I mean, the Bible even makes us to understand where Jesus says that in this world we're going to encounter a lot of troubles, but we should be of good cheer. That means we should be happy or we should not be too worried because he has overcome. And so life is all about healing. Life is a healing journey. You have to understand that you cannot be all perfect in life. Things will happen. There will be problems, there will be situations, there will be pain, there will be struggle, there will be brokenheartedness, there will be brokenness. These things will come, not because you ask for them. Most times you don't even ask for them at all. They just come your way. And we ask the question, why do bad things happen to good people? But the Bible already told us where Jesus say that in this world we will experience problems. And he was referring to everyone, including the believers, including the Christians. We will experience problems. We will experience persecutions, trial, tribulations. Bible has already told us that we will experience this. And so whenever you come across pain in life, don't be too overwhelmed. I know it can be overwhelming. I know it can bring you down entirely, but be assured that the same God that promised us has said that he will take us out from it and he will help us through. But there's one thing I want you to also understand that, even as much as God has given us the opportunity to come to this life to fulfill a purpose, the enemy is very busy because the enemy knows that everyone that is created by God, every child, every human that God made is made for a purpose, is special. The enemy never created anybody. He did not have that kind of power. It's God that created everyone. It's God that made all of us. All humans came from God and were made in his image. But what the enemy does is to go about to kill, to steal, and to destroy this creation called humans that God has made. The enemy doesn't want us to fulfill the purpose that God has put in our lives. That is why he comes with so much distractions through pain, through struggle, through brokenness, through heartbreaks, through heartaches. You can name it. Through stress, anxiety, depression, name it. That is what the enemy does. Now, the earlier you're able to identify this, the better. That all these things that come your way are a purpose for you to be distracted away from your main assignment, to delay you, to deny you, to steal from you entirely. It takes the grace of God and the revelation from God for you to understand all this and be able to cut yourself off from that cycle and still be put yourself on the path that God originally had created for you. And that is why I do talk about healing a lot, because I'm talking out of experience. For 2 decades or more, 2 decades and more, not even or more, and more, I've been heavily distracted because of the issues of life that I was going through, because of brokenness and trauma. And I allowed it to crowd my mind and I dwelled on it every day. I mean, it ruled me entirely. And before you knew it, I started to fall sick. I wasn't myself anymore. I lost my self-identity entirely. And it had not been a very, very good journey at all. It had been very, very unsettling, I would say that. I mean, full of fear, full of doubt, and full of negative thoughts, negative energy, where you always feel like things can't go right with you anymore, full of regrets and blame, self-blame, and I could just go on. But I just realized, like I said, it's not a good place, because these things make you sick. So identifying that you are made in God's image is key. And for you to understand that the enemy brings about all these distractions in your life, because he knows that if he does not distract you, you will end up being who God wants you to be. And he doesn't want that to happen. But you have to fight to become who God has asked you to be. So through this process, you have to stand on the ground that you will activate your healing process, because some people or some of us have been so broken into pieces that it's hard to even put the pieces together to be mended to start up on a new page. But that is why I'm here and I'm talking about healing them. Even though it seems impossible, with God all things are possible. Don't give up on yourself, no matter how broken you are, no matter how you've gone through a lot of problems, or how deep your pain is. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. There's still a chance. There's still hope. Believe in yourself. I know it could be very hard. It could be extremely hard. I know. Like I said, I'm talking from experience. It could be extremely hard. I mean, there's so many mornings you wake up and you just don't want to start your day, because you're just tired of life. You're tired of everything. You're exhausted. You are overwhelmed, and you feel you have reached your extreme. But don't give up on yourself. The first thing to do is to seek for help. There's nothing wrong seeking for help. That is actually where your greatness starts. Because when you seek for help, it activates your growth journey. Because it's your growth journey that actually gives you fulfilled healing. It is when you start to make progress, when you start to grow out from where you were before to where you are going to, that is when your healing starts to manifest. That is when your true self starts to show. That is when your light starts to shine. But if you don't activate it, if you remain where you are, you remain in that dark space, you decide to identify with the other side of you that is not, that God never said you were, you may not be able to grow. You may not be able to function. You may not be able to come up with anything ideal. You'll be stuck. I've tried it, I've told you, for 2 decades and more. I tried it. It did not work. Until when I decided to take a step forward. That is when I started seeing some changes. I would like you to do the same thing. First and foremost, the first thing to do is to get professional help. You can see a therapist, you can see a counselor, you can see your pastor, your spiritual pastor, support group or support services, or a group of friends and families that you know that are after your well-being. They are after your success. That they're after your greatness. They see good in you. They see greatness in you even when you don't see it. Those are the people you should surround yourself with. Those are the people you should associate yourself with consistently on a daily basis. As much as possible, detach yourself from that negative environment. It could be hard at the beginning. It could be very difficult, especially when it's not an environment that you can easily just leave, or where you can easily just cut yourself off. But you can start by activating this method I'm telling you, and you will see the difference it starts making. We're going to be talking more about how to heal and how to grow out of your pain and become a better person, so that you can shine, so that you can become fulfilled and fulfill your purpose and unleash that gift that God has put in you. Because that gift that is in you, that is what is causing the trouble. That is what is causing the problem. Because that gift that God has put in you is so big, is so shiny, that the enemy does not want you to reflect it out there. Because the enemy knows that if you reflect that gift, you'll be great. But he does not want you to be great. He wants you, like, subdue you and make sure you are beneath. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it is your responsibility to start finding your way out. Start to fight it. Start fighting. It comes from your mind, from your mindset. Start thinking positive about yourself. Start thinking that you have a reason to be alive. Start thinking that you have a purpose in life. Start thinking that God has made you for a reason. You are not just here for no reason. You're here for a purpose. No matter what anyone says to you that is negative, that is not what Jesus has said about you, that you are made for great signs and you are made for great wonders, and we are created in God's image. If whoever is saying anything to you that is not aligning with that, that is a big lie. Do not believe that lie. I believe that everybody, every human being, everybody created of God is a special person. Everyone is here for a purpose. And if you let and you allow God to take his place in your life, if you allow Jesus to lead you, to direct you, you will see what I am talking about. You will see what I'm talking about. So I believe and I hope that this will start to create a change in you. This will start to help you to move forward. Activate your healing journey, and eventually you'll be healed, you'll be made whole, and you will bloom. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.